kids to bed, dad's home. We are the DWO podcast, representing the dad world order. I am the handsome head of household, Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. And with me, as always, the rest of this patriarch pack. We got the big bad bearded daddy. He is Big Rig Eric Murphy.
There it is. Hell yeah. Honk if you hear me, baby.
Oh, yeah. And he is the perpetual mid-Carter and the two-time world record holder. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy, Cephas.
Cowabunga, indeed it is. It is day 886, boys. And I'm wearing one of the super rare and apparently expensive, according to eBay now, CM Punk AEW shirts. So.
Huh.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, as always, we are the DWO podcast. Tonight we have a returning guest. First time we had you on was a while back, but he is back. He is the Gouda Godfather, the Parmesan Pummeler, the one and only Cheese. Sir, how the heck are you?
I'm cheese. Today is National Cheese Day.
Hey.
Yeah. How perfect, man.
Look at I'm sitting here eating it, man. You know what I mean?
It was so serendipitous too, man, because we had a reschedule that hit us last second, and I was like, man, I wonder what Cheese is up to. And it just happened to work out that where we were able to make it happen. And man, I gotta say, he said it's been a year. It's been since April 27th of last year, so just a little over a year. But man, your growth in that amount of time has been absolutely exponential from a fan's point of view. When I see you doing cooler and cooler shit, I'm like, oh, that's my boy. That's my dude. I'm so invested in your career now.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to answer this question real quick. Yes, we are on all audio platforms. We are on Audible. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, all that good stuff. Please enjoy listening to the dads while you carry mail.
Oh, that's cool.
Pretty neat.
But yeah, man. When I first started seeing you doing some NWA stuff, I was like, oh, man. Oh, that is awesome. Because I know you made a post about how much it meant to you. It meant damn near that much to me to watch you go through that, just because, you know what I mean? We've had this little bit of interaction. I think that's the coolest thing about being a fan of indie wrestlers is you see people like you, and then the next thing you know, they're on bigger and bigger stages, and it's fun to watch it. You're like, oh, I liked him before y'all knew him. Yep. That was my guy.
Yeah, I think I said it last time I was on the podcast, but you know, if there's a crowd that in your area that you're watching indie wrestling, like whoever their favorite, the crowd favorite is, that crowd favorite then belongs to that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they take like really good ownership of you when you do. I was certainly blown away with my little, bit of fortune. And everybody's just been like so behind me, and it's been so nice. I mean, I consider myself very, very lucky.
Absolutely. And you're right about that, how like, a wrestler, whoever's a fan favorite is that's that crowd, like you feel a connection with them. Yeah. And I feel the same thing just with wrestling in general. Like, okay, for example, the John Silver Anna Jay meme where he's like talking to her and like people, put a bunch of stuff. Anytime I see a friend of mine or something like post that meme and I know they know absolutely nothing about wrestling, I'm like, hey, it's John Silver. Hey, it's Anna Jay. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a little thing like, oh, I got a special connection to that.
Well, that's funny about that meme is my dad sent me a message one time and he was just like, hey, explain why this is funny. And he'll do that sometimes. It's like,
yeah,
like, explain why this is funny. And, or, something along those lines, and I'll explain it to him. And, he sent me that meme one time. And he was like, explain why this is good. And I was like, well, this guy's a wrestler, and so is this lady, and blah, 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 blah. And this is why it's funny. And they use it in a lot of different things. And it's just like, all right.
Cool.
That's what I needed. Thank you.
It's the boomer version of cool.
Yeah. Neato.
Explain to me why this is funny.
So obviously Siva said you've been doing some NWA stuff. How's that been going for you? Obviously you enjoying yourself, or
it's been a blast, but it is definitely more. There's more to it, you know. There's different ways that they tape or record. For those that don't know what tape is, you know, it's like I met Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan was very nice to me. It was kind of strange to be around him because when I was in high school, I was a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan.
You say, was it the greatest day you ever known?
Ah,
Well, I was just like, I wasn't like super in awe, but it was cool to meet him. Let's say that while it was cool to meet him and work for him as a wrestler, it was also really cool to meet someone who, you know, it basically did a big part of my soundtrack for high school.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of NWA, man, I got to bring up a certain picture. But before I would bring up that picture, I got to ask, how tall are you?
How tall am I?
Yeah.
One.
See, that makes sense then. I mean, I want to know how you got 6 foot wide shoulders, because Jesus Christ, dude.
Right?
God, dude, you look like you can fucking back a Mack truck up, man. Jesus. Look at that. Those type of you know, promo photos, man. That definitely says something. Like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? If I didn't already know who he was seeing that on the photo, I'd be like, okay, I want to watch that guy wrestle. I don't know who he is, but I'm in.
Thank you. We are on the Florida scene to have like an array of amazing photographers who do really good wrestling. Tusslemania, our boy, which I actually got to work with him at the NWA show. He was hanging out, taking pictures, making everybody look great.
Dude's everywhere.
Yeah, he is. But that picture that was on that River City Wrestling Con that I'm on this weekend, come see me in Jacksonville, or St. Augustine rather. It's close to Jacksonville. The person who took that is my buddy Isaiah Reyes, who owns iRay's Photography. Amazing, does an amazing job. We always have fun too. He's a really close friend. But yeah, we that photo shoot was a fun photo shoot. It's like, it also has the one where I've got the Polaroid camera and the piece of cheese.
Yeah, I love that one.
I'm pulling it up right now,
dude.
That is a very, very good photo as well.
On National Cheese Day, I challenge. I don't think anybody's ever done that before. Look at that. I don't think anyone has ever done this before. If they have, maybe it's some cheeky thing. I don't know if it's shared among their friends, but I scoured the internet for that, and AI could barely do anything for me. You know,
wow.
ChatGPT could barely do anything for me. So I've never seen anybody do that before. So I was like, it was just an idea that popped in my head, and I talked to Isaiah, and he was just like, let's do it. So we did it, and it's like, it's been my favorite photo shoot that I've ever done, I think.
So you actually used like a Polaroid camera and an actual piece of cheese. It wasn't just.
Yep.
Nice.
Props. I mean, this is a prop. You can't stretch cheese and handle cheese like this, you know? You can, but you don't want to eat it because you get it dirty. But yeah, we did that, and that was a lot of fun, just like making that come to life. And what was really serendipitous about it was the camera I bought that morning on Facebook Marketplace.
Nice.
And the camera was yellow on the bottom. It's really
perfect.
Cool. Perfect.
Oh man, I got to admit, man, your merch game is on point. I really like your Seinfeld shirt style you got going on there. But there's one that I think I missed out on. I'm not sure if it's for sale anymore, but I gotta say, this is one of the coolest shirt designs ever, and it's I don't know exactly what you would call it, cheese demon, if you will.
Oh, the cheese walker.
Cheese walker. That's such a fucking cool shirt.
So I'm about to get some of that in stock. I'm gonna have some printed off, and because that was a collaboration I did with a local artist, Adam. He's Datum. It's Datum Designs. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to do a play on words with dad or whatever. Anyway,
Sounds great.
Say if so, he sounds awesome.
Amazing artist, and he kind of helps keep up with my local comic book shop and toy shop that I go to, Retro Rat. Shout out Retro Rat in Largo, Florida. But he did that design, and I was just like, I worked with him on that, and that was a lot of fun. But we didn't necessarily close the campaign for good, so I'm gonna get some more of that. But the online stuff may not be up for a while, but I will start getting physical, like having them at my shows and stuff.
Just like integrating cheese in like different like serious or like just places that shouldn't be, Cheese.
It creates
cheese around the world, baby.
For your character for sure, man. You could tell just the most serious story possible. That little bit of cheese in there makes it to where it's just like, oh, well, there's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
That's what it does, I think.
Till the cheese goes bad.
Oh.
That actually happened to us the other day. We were making a pasta dish, I think. Yeah, and we dumped out like, the bag of like pizza cheese, and apparently at the very bottom of the bag it was solid penicillin.
Oh,
So
man,
the cheese does go bad. I'm just saying, it takes a while, but
perfect enemy for you.
It's a long time.
Penicillin.
Mr. Mode. Yeah, Mr. Mode and penicillin.
That's what people say to me, like, oh, if you ever turn heel, you're going to be moldy cheese. I said,
yes. It's got to happen. Got to happen.
Never say never in this business, as I'm sure you guys have found out.
Unless you're John Cena.
The cheese suffered a head injury, and now he thinks he's French. La fromage.
That's the best I can do is like that. Chef.
Yeah, go for your mustache. Just
that's pretty good, Mike.
Oui, oui, mon ami.
So, man, how's the last year of dad life been treating you, man? Lots of up all nights, or is she sleeping through the night type stuff, or how's it been being a dad?
That's amazing. The best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. With as much success that I have with wrestling and in my little business and merch stuff and all that, none of it compares even close to being a dad. She is the most amazing thing. And I know you guys are thinking, all right, he's got a young kid. He's got the honeymoon syndrome, whatever.
Nope.
But I'm looking forward to even when she starts talking back to me, because I love that kid so much.
Yeah. Eric, you're muted, buddy.
I am muted. I apologize. I was saying that's the best, dude. Like when they start talking back to you, it's awesome. When you can, like, once they get to like 5, 6, and you can really start like chopping it up with them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, mine's 8 now, and the amount of back and forth me and her, it's fun to give them a hard time, and they give you a hard time right back. And like, I'll always, for example, this is so dumb. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but she, like, you know, I'll rip a fart or something like that, and she'll be like, "Oh, gross!" And I was like, "What? What is it?" She was like, "You fart." I was like, "I've never farted in my life," and she's like, "That's a lie!" And she gets so mad, and I don't know what you're talking about. And you know, I was like,
I
"You
didn't hear
fart all the
anything.
time." But just to, you know, be able to, you know, razz them a little bit, it's a lot of fun.
I like to tell my kids that we cut their tails off when they were born. And they're all like, wait, I had a tail? Yeah, yeah, we didn't want you to
Get the
look
stump
weird,
right
so we
there.
cut it off.
Cut your
The
tails
best
off.
is fucking with your kids is the best. Man.
It's so fun, dude.
It
So
really
fun.
It's gonna be great.
But I mean, she'll get me right back. Like we have an ongoing thing of trying to get the other person. You say, "Guess what?" And if the other person says what, you hit them with chicken butt.
Oh,
But we're both so guarded on it now. Like you really have to catch. You know, we got to catch each other off guard. And man, if we get each other, it's the greatest feeling ever. I wasn't paying attention. Great.
Now, absolutely nothing wrong with that honeymoon phase, man. If anything, we boldly encourage, to, make sure you're smelling the flowers along the way, man, because they grow up so quick, and before you know it, they're 20-something and out of the house, like me.
Yep, I got one that turned 17 in September. So,
you guys are seasoned dads.
something
Absolutely.
like that.
How's your dad's strength? You know, my dad's strength started kicking in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you definitely. We were talking about this before the show started. You definitely leaned out a bit. I think at our points, we've all started to go into the dad bod era. We started to lose that dad swell a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm a human jungle gym, and my kid is tall as shit for her age. So she's definitely testing my dad's strength on a daily basis. You know, the amount of times where she like still wants to walk on, like her feet on my feet and have me walk around. And I'm like, you're not 3 anymore, but I still do it. You do it till you can't anymore, man. Because there's going to be a day where she stops asking for that. So I do it.
Oh,
And
man.
it's going forever.
that's why we still let our kids, like my two youngest, they're 10 and 6, and they'll still ask every once in a while. They don't want to sleep in our bed, but they want to sleep in our room and do like a sleepover and watch movies.
Yeah.
And as annoying as it is, man, sometimes we just gotta, all right, whatever. We're staying up till 11 watching some random Disney Plus movie, whatever.
Yep.
We've even done that with their kids as they're older. They just kind of everybody just somehow ends up migrating into our room and ends up like getting sucked into whatever we're watching at the time, and just
Yeah,
play
I don't know,
sleepover,
man.
but still.
I wish I'd have realized, with all the family members we've all lost throughout the years. I wish I'd have realized how precious it was when it was precious. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. The way that adult retrospect will do to you, but hopefully our kids will know a little bit better and a little bit, absorb a little bit more because we tell them about it. And that's what parenting is. You try to do a little bit better than your parents did. In my case, a whole lot better than my parents did.
Yeah, it's definitely, and I'm starting to get to the point, like I said, she's 8, she'll be 9 in November. I'm starting to get to the point where she is wanting to do stuff on her own. Like she wants to go, read a book on her own, or, I'm going to go play Roblox in my room, or, she's starting to distance herself. And that made me wake up like, oh, like I need to take advantage of every time she wants to hang out or do anything with me. I need to do that because she's getting to that age where she's like, nah, I just kind of want to do my own thing.
It's like watching it's like having a favorite movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But knowing that there's only so many parts that you're allowed to go to the theater and see type shit. Like, it's like, oh, don't stop it. No, you know what I mean? Like, stop. You can't be 16 now. Now about to be 17. It's I don't know, man. It's definitely a delicate balance being a dad. It really is.
It's wild because I, you know, I get, and anytime I'm wrestling, like the day that I get up, I'm like, I think of, all right, what do I need to do logistically to get ready? And then when I start thinking about it, I'm like, oh man, we can have this, we could do this sort of match, we can have this kind of fun, we can make this twister. I'm super excited. I'm jacked, right? But nowadays when I get up, the first thing I think of, the first person I really look for is my daughter. And she's just like, I get way more excited about like, all right, what's she learned today? What can she say? The words like are coming out left and right. And I just like, I'm just in awe of how quickly she's learning things, and how good, like how she's wanting to talk, and she's just like listening so well. And like the words are just coming like all the time, like new stuff. And it just, I've like, she said, she's learned how to, her name's Henry, and she's learned how to say her name, but she doesn't say it completely correct. But she's like, she makes this little noise because and she hears Henry, and so she goes
That's adorable.
And so when I heard it for the first time, I almost died after crying so much.
She just said it.
Yeah.
To everybody else of this is like, who may probably not a dad, and they hear me talking about this, they're like, he's completely lost.
He's nuts. Yeah, he's nuts.
Care about cheese as much as he said.
Our core audience shares the dad love, so
it's the best. Like that little high pitch. Like I remember when mine was that age. So she calls my dad Papa.
Yeah.
And anytime she'd be looking for him, she'd go, Papa, Papa. It was like a real just high pitch. I actually got a video of it. It's the cutest thing ever. But yeah, but that's the other thing. Having phones now that have like photo memories on them and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, man. My phone will remind me on days, and I'm just like, God damn it. Like,
our kids are going to have it crazy that way. They're going to be able to literally go back and just watch themselves grow up digitally.
Yeah.
We didn't have that many photos.
No.
We got photos at Sears like once every year or so. Maybe if there was like a 4th of July and there was a disposable camera, we'd get a family photo.
Yeah, I mean, my mom has like photo albums and stuff.
Does anybody go to like a studio and like get their family pictures taken anymore? Is that like still a thing?
I think they have them.
At JCPenney's, they are now, JCPenney is now advertising. You could do portrait studios here, and they're showing like these people, these hipster looking kids dressing up like they're from the 90s.
Oh.
And it's
it's like a trendy thing to go and get portraits taken.
Oh,
yeah, it's like a super trendy thing now.
Yeah.
We should get matching corduroys and like not slacks, but like whatever the fucking business shirt, whatever the hell that's called. Get really nice shirts too, and fucking.
I'd totally do it.
That would be so much fun. Just go take like Step Brothers style photos.
Exactly.
That would be pretty awesome.
Whoever did
pretty teeth.
Whoever did Luke Curtis's Photoshop on that Step Brothers with him and
yeah, that was good.
Is that Tony Gunn? Is that who it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was seamless, beautiful.
Yeah, man. Being a dad is the funnest shit in the world. I'm glad that you're having a good time, man. You still having you still having some time to make some time with the wife too, or you find that balance still something you're figuring out as you go along?
Trying to figure that out because I'm just I want I want her to have her time for herself, but I also want to be able to be part of that time. We don't have like a huge support system here where we can just have someone come to the house and watch her while we go out, unless her mom is in town. And so it's something we have to figure out. Mostly we just bond over just like watching different shows at the end of the night.
I'd say it doesn't have to be anything spectacular or a big night on the town or anything like that, man. Just put a date in the calendar, like, hey, this date we're gonna make sure we set time together. We catch a movie together. We could stream something or whatever, bring some takeout in, just something different from the norm, just to, to designate that you're spending that time together and recognizing that.
Yeah.
As a new dad with a 10-month-old, I really enjoy the splashes of dad knowledge along with my wrestling news. Thanks.
Hey,
You're welcome. That's what we're here for, man.
It's important, man, and I think that's one of the most important things about long-term relationships and marriage, or whatever you want to call it, is communication. Even when the communication is hard to communicate, if you feel upset with somebody, you need to tell them you are. You need to explain it and be able to articulate it. Don't explain it when you're mad, because you'll never be able to have the exact points. And sometimes you'll think about it 10 minutes later and be like, "Damn, I was stupid the whole time." So it's important to take time to think about everything and just, understand that, as much as it might be aggravating to be up all night with a baby, eventually that baby's going to sleep through the night. And eventually, as tired as you are picking up them toys, eventually that kid's going to stop playing with toys.
yeah.
And like you said, it happens so quick, man. I have a 16, 10, and a 6-year-old. And it's like, what the hell happened? You know what I mean? It's so quick. So, yeah, it's important to soak it in.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it's like you said, the things that might aggravate you now. Like I just remember it was always frustrating to like sometimes get her down, for a nap when she was, 2 or 3 years old. And then before I knew it, she was never taking naps anymore. And I miss, being able to rock her to sleep or, sing to her.
I
want a
nap.
Now I want a nap and she doesn't want to. So she yells at me for napping.
Can't help it,
So,
kid.
yeah.
It's one of my favorite times of the day, no matter what I've done all day, and no matter how hard I've worked or if I've had a light day or whatever. It's my favorite thing is when we do our bedtime routine. I get to rock her to sleep, and it's the best because her little head will fall asleep right here, and it's just like I have this playlist that I play for her. She's got right now. She's super into the bangers, Itsy Bitsy Spider and Old MacDonald.
Yeah,
I've got those
bangers.
So true verified bangers, but I've got those on a loop, and then once she falls asleep, I'll just let the playlist ride. And I'll like stay for another couple of songs and just hold on to her, I actually did that tonight.
It's the best, man.
She was tired.
It is.
There are a couple Creed songs in there, man.
Yeah.
Right to sleep.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. But yeah, man, you miss out on that stuff, if you really don't soak it in. So that's some of we always give dad advice at the end of our shows, man, and I think that's one of the biggest ones of being a dad is, man, just appreciate everything as you got it right now. Don't be like, oh, I can't wait till she's older and can take care of herself. Well, guess what? When she can, you're gonna be missing taking care of her or him or whatever.
Yeah.
So, man, back towards the NWA, are you still doing a lot of stuff with them, or is it just whenever they're in the area, or what's your situation like with NWA right
now? It's more whenever they come to Tampa. I think that's where they enjoy using the old cheese. But yeah, it's like if the right opportunity, and it has to be perfect, perfect. The right opportunity came up, then I would go, and it's just, I'm not trying to sound weird, but it's like it's just not it's not consistent. You know what I mean? Like it's fun to see the people that I've become friends with there and that are always really nice to me and have good advice and nice things to say. But it's just, I just wish it would be fun. It would be really cool if there was something big like that was more consistent. Yeah. But beyond that, like, it's just a different feel from the indies. Even though that you might have some fans, their perspective, they would say, oh, NWA is not such a big company or whatever. But I mean, they kind of do run it like a corporate machine.
Yeah,
very professional, for the most part. But they have a lot of people that work there, and so it's kind of like going to the biggest indie show you've ever been with the biggest crowd and the biggest expectations too.
I think it still holds grandeur in a lot of lifelong wrestling fans like me. The letters NWA will always hold a level of respect. You know what I mean? And the fact that it's what Billy Corgan has done with it since the debut of Power. I've been watching along since, and I really enjoy it. And I like that he's like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not satiated by being at a certain level, but he is comfortable at it being at a certain level because that's what it's supposed to be. The territories, the most important, but also the building ground at the same time. So I like that mindset. It shows through the shows.
But it's again, it's an instance of a wrestling fan investing, with a lot of capital investing in a wrestling company. You know what I mean? It catches a lot of flack, but in the end, I'm sure it's a business that bleeds money. It's probably not very profitable, more so than it is just a feather in the cap of, I put this show together.
Yeah.
Well, and it's an opportunity, like people shit on TNA, AEW, NWA, whatever. Man, it's an opportunity for people to work and develop themselves. It doesn't have to just be one thing. You know what I mean? Like it's an opportunity outside of the indies to, it's like how OVW that people learn TV there. Same thing with NWA and all these other places. I love it.
Something that Jim Ross said a while ago. I think he says it pretty much anytime he's on a podcast. He says competition is good, and it's good for the boys to have multiple places to work.
Yeah,
and I agree with that. And it is good to have an alternative product. There's something. There's literally I don't want to sound grizzled like I want people to be punished, but wrestling fans have never had better or easier than now.
No, never.
Yeah.
Back whenever I was a kid, and it was WWF, it was WCW.
Mm-hmm.
That ECW slid in there, but that was it.
That's all we had.
Of course, you had the NWA stuff, but then later TNA split off. It was completely different ball game, and so now it's like the best time. But the other thing is, and I don't know if anybody ever talks about this, there are now more wrestlers than ever.
Oh yeah, it has to be.
Many.
But and like you said too, there's I don't know. There's so many more opportunities. Like Ross said, there's so many opportunities. For people to work, which is a good thing, which creates more wrestlers. But I feel like the indies tend to weed out the ones that just don't work out. I'm sure some people politic their way in or whatever, but it's not just all right. You got to do the indies for 12 years before you even get a shot. Like, man, you can do some, indies for a couple years and the right person sees you. And with social media being what it is, it's just, it's, and everything's available. All your indies are available on Fight or Triller or whatever you want to call it.
Everywhere.
It's, there's no tape trading anymore. It's just, it's there.
The accessibility to it now is second to none. And I mean, speaking on the competition thing, I mean, that's what made the Monday Night Wars and that, highly, decorated era, so great is that, they're putting on a banger show. Well, we got to step it up and put even bigger show on and then so on and so forth. And I mean, that's that competition drives, inspiration and drives, people.
Iron sharpens iron, man.
Yep. Exactly.
Speaking of iron sharpens iron, man, I'm sure you've got a few I guess you could call them dream matches that could happen in the NWA. But a guy that I just recently was introduced over the last few months, I feel like would be an awesome matchup with you. And I don't know if you're familiar with him, but Jeremiah Plunkett. He actually just won the NWA Mid-America Heavyweight Championship, which they just brought back. He just announced, what was it, like this past May that they were bringing it back. And he just won it a few days ago. Watching him go and watching some of your matches, I feel like you guys could really well, you'd beat the shit out of each other, but you guys would have fun doing it. I feel like it'd be a good match.
I appreciate you putting me with such an athlete. As a monster.
Yeah, he's insane. I wish I'd have known about him.
Wish I'd have known about it.
Wish I'd have known about him. It'd have been a lot better.
That just reminds me of that you ever seen Little Bubby Child, the little cartoons?
Dang old Meemaw told me so I could go down to the flea market and pick me up a fly swatter if I could start killing flies for 5 cents a piece.
What the fuck?
You never seen those, Mike? Little Bubby Child? I'll send you a couple.
Like that, yeah.
There's this boy in my class named Michael. He said his parents named him Michael Jordan because he could jump so high. What'd they do? Just call him baby till he learned how to jump? He lied to me.
He lied to me. Wrestler down here, Devin Diaz, we trade those memes all the time.
Oh, they're so good, man.
They're so good.
It's fun wild, ain't it?
Especially if you have a family member that sounds even remotely like that, and I feel like every one of us does here. So
certainly do.
I love you, honey.
Yeah, I was actually just discussing this the other day. I asked my grandma. She's been saying that she'd smack the P. Wadden out of me for years, and I asked her the other day. I was like, "What does P. Wadden mean?" She's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I was like, "Man, you've been threatening to smack the P. Wadden out of me for years.
You don't even know what it is."
She's like, "I don't know. It's just something I say."
Speaking of that, you guys ever heard the phrase, watch your P's and Q's?
Yeah.
What the fuck is P's and Q's? Can't find a single person that knows what that means without Googling it, at least. I didn't even Google it yet.
I feel like it's a very British thing.
Right.
Your P's and Q's.
What's your P's and Q's?
What does P's and Q's mean? Manners and politeness. P's and Q's is an idiom that means manners and politeness. It's often used to remind someone to be careful about what they say or do, and the origin of the phrase is uncertain, but the possible explanation is that it comes from English pubs where bartenders kept track of the pints and quarts consumed by the customers.
The trivia god over here.
Speaking of trivia, is that the funnest thing ever, man? I love going to bar trivia, and yes. I've always been like, man, I would love to host something like that, and I feel like you take that shit to the next level of energy.
I love it because it's like one thing I've always wanted to do is stand-up comedy, and it's like an easy, it's like prop comedy, people, I do them at breweries mostly, and a bar here called Beer Busters, and I just find the more beer that people drink, the more apt they are to laugh. But I really love it when the place gets going and they're picking, the teams are picking on each other, but it's all fun. It's not, I don't do the intense, like, all right, well, in round number 3, question 7, I had, I got that correct. Like, these people are just having fun. They can win championship belts. They can win $100 cash. The whole point is people having fun. And it's so easy for me because that's how I do it, at the shows, at my wrestling matches. Like, I'll go out there and I want to make sure everybody's having a good time.
Right, it's like a promo class for free every day in a way, because you get to just kind of riff on people that you can feel like are cool with getting riffed on. You know what I mean? You can kind of read that too after you do crowd work for a while. I've been lucky enough in a band to kind of be able to do that as well, and it's a different high, man. You know what I mean? It really is. Like, not to reveal too much of my past, but I've partied and I've done a few things, but there ain't nothing like the feeling of control in a crowd. There really ain't.
What kind of things? Specifically.
We can't discuss some things. This is a family show. I mean, the kids are put to bed, but
Put the kids to bed early.
what if they sneak and look and watch this show? You know what I mean?
Right.
I've built,
He had a passion for shaved coconut.
that's it, right there. And fresh avocados.
Amazing.
Good buddy.
Oh.
Oh shit! But yeah, man. So
Sorry.
I'd like to see you versus Jeremiah Plunkett, but there's got to be somebody on that NWA roster where you're like, man, put me with him. Is there somebody that sticks out like that for you?
On the roster, yeah, EC3.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to mix it up with EC3 and have it Cheese versus EC3 for the World's Championship, the 10-pound old.
I'd cry.
I would too. But
Yeah, I would too.
if they were to make that match happen, then I'd be like, you know what? Okay.
Would you become like Cheese 3 for the feud?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
team 'em
we
up.
we'll build where EC3 is like super serious the whole time. He's like, I hate cheese. You
Yes.
know? And I'm just like
Lactose intolerant.
I've not touched cheese in 26 years.
lactose, brother. And he which by the way, EC3 was like super nice to me. He was like such a sweetheart.
He's a great dude.
He's so nice. Like he was, every time I saw him, he was like super friendly and approachable and easy to talk to, and would give out advice about the business, and which was super appreciated. But I think that having that knowledge, I think that would even make for an even better match between us. You know?
Oh, he can be a real shithead.
Yeah.
I would personally really enjoy seeing you versus Trevor Murdoch, and just seeing you throw a slice of cheese on Trevor Murdoch's face and watching that reaction. I think that'd be pretty neat.
He would take the cheese. He would lick it to make sure it's actual cheese.
Right.
He'd probably eat it and just like leave the ring.
Yeah.
Just gives you the worst. What the fuck look while he's eating that cheese, and then just
away, just back and away.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Oh, man.
I mean, I feel like that's how that would go down.
Chatter away.
You said triggered something. Can I show you guys I've shown this off on Instagram, but I would like, this is the podcast debut of the
Yes.
Oh, all right.
The concept that we had like 2-3 years ago, and it is the World Cheddarweight Championship. You got cheeses on the plates. This here is the belt looks like tablecloth because it is.
Uh-huh.
It's made of wood because it doubles as a charcuterie board. And serious, and I'm the cheese, your world cheddarweight champion.
Hell yeah,
dude! That's what you need to do. You need to
Nice
have
woodwork.
that thing like charcuteried out when you go into a match, and just like offer. Like some olives? Would you like? Yeah.
I had to. If you guys, there's a lot of good promotions in Florida, but we had the most fun at a show at a promotion called Mayhem Mills this past weekend in Orlando, and we had a cheese concoction in one of those like room toilets for, if you're sick or old. It's like but like a
like a bedpan.
It's not a bedpan, but it's like it's got the whole thing. They got and we had this cheese concoction, and so the owner of the company says he wants to run for president of Mayhem on Mills, and he starts campaigning. We're supposed to have a match. I come in and interrupt him, and I'm like, I'm going to run for president. So I need people to vote for me, the Parmesan president. And anyway, I dunked that guy's face into that toilet. Fully.
Oh, shit.
Wrestling.
This is a serious thing, guys. Very serious.
Such a beautiful championship, man. You talk about your Smoking Skulls and your Brahma championships, and that's up there with one of the best custom championships I think I've ever seen, man.
That's
that is
fantastic.
just super neat.
Dude, and honestly, there'd be a market for that. Can you imagine bringing that out at your Royal Rumble party? See,
Oh, yeah.
Charcuterie on the Cheddarweight Championship.
My friend John, who owns a company called Spot Monkey Photography or Spot Monkey Art, he had custom made this. This is all made by hand. Like he did, he and his wife did every. And he walked me through like the whole thing. He was like, and he had all these ideas. He's like, yeah, I got red tablecloth, I got blue tablecloth, but you got the blue and the yellow mostly. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, let's go. It was just every little detail in this thing. Like there's like these little, pieces of cheese. It's like dripping off of the belt and everything.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I feel like
those little fine details.
When you first saw that had to just blow you away, man.
Did you tear up?
It did. I did. Of course I did. I mean, this is beautiful.
The manifestation of years of thoughts and planning.
Yeah.
I'd cry for sure.
My tattoo is different. The shape than this, because this is shaped like my tattoo that's on my forearm, the cheese drip symbol.
Mm-hmm.
But like this, I came up with this concept, the Cheddarweight champion, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. My buddy Mike put that tattoo on me. I was like, man, we got to make an actual Cheddarweight championship.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want this to be completely different. I don't want it to be like, no offense to the Trophy Smack, but I don't want it to look like a Trophy Smack belt.
Yeah.
And I also, wanted something that that was durable too. And so.
Right. Yeah.
So speaking of championship tattoos, did I have mine when I saw you last? Have you seen my championship?
Definitely not.
Oh, you gotta wait till you see this, dude.
Is it going to be lewd? Oh! Oh my God!
Yes, sir.
You did it.
Mid card for life, bro.
He is the perpetual mid-carder.
Ow. But also a workhorse.
Okay. Yes.
The amount of people that have challenged him for that title since he's gotten that. He got ref.
Scalpel around with him.
Marty Jannetty took photos of it, and I was like, that's cool. Marty Jannetty just took photos of me half naked. I wonder how many other people are in his phone for the same thing. I tell you what, though, what was even cooler.
He was walking good, though.
Yeah, he was walking great. It was actually great to see him that way. But we met Nick Nemeth, too, and he was holding the NJPW Championship, and he was holding the Squared Circle Expo Championship. And we all three went to meet him at once, and he's like, I don't have a belt to let all three of you hold. And it's like, no worries, bro. I've got my own. And he was just like, yes! Old school style, man.
Worked out really well.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a championship.
We've had plans drawn up for like custom, belts of our own made, and I mean, to see something like that coming to, to actually hold that in our hands would be amazing. So I can imagine what it feels like to something, your brainchild to actually come into the physical.
Right. Yeah. It's I'm very happy with it. I didn't even realize that I was holding it on my shoulder for that long. Like
And comfy.
I'm very proud.
And fashionable.
my buddy John who made that. That's incredible work. He's very talented.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just you can tell the care that went into making that, man. It's definitely a labor of love, as it were.
I hope he knows he killed that shit.
I those
If
two.
he does, bro, that's insane, dude. It's so good. So sometimes, man, when we have people on, I sit here and I look at them and I look at their face and they just remind me of someone, and it takes me forever, but it finally clicked with me. Boy, who you look like, and you may know who this is, you may not, but you look like, without the red beard, you look like a young Dimebag Daryl, man. You got a very similar look, man.
Damn.
I think
I see it. I
Look,
see it.
I know Dimebag.
Yeah.
I was sad to see him go. Yeah.
Oh man, I was my band. We've been together since 2014. Man, we got to play the Al Rosa Villa right before they tore it down, and one of the security guards was there when all that shit went down. He still worked there, and he saw we had a Dimebag guitar, and he was like, "Oh, you guys are Dimebag guys," and we're like, "Yeah, super hallowed grounds for us, right?" And he took us on this like whole tour of the venue. It was kind of morbid, to be honest with you. Like, he showed us like how and where everything happened, and it was just like this crazy moment. And I was just like, man, like what fucking weird world do I live in that this is what I'm doing right now, man? And I was supposed to go to that Hatebreed show. You know what I mean? I was supposed to be there. You know what I mean? They're not Hatebreed. I'm blanking on the name now. Oh fuck.
I have no idea.
Damage Plan.
Damn.
Yeah. Damage Plan was the name of the band that he was in the night that he was shot and killed. And it was a really surreal moment, man. And I tell you this, we played that show, and we're opening up for the Insane Clown Posse that night. And we took a moment to do a moment of silence for that, for sure, just to pay some respects. It's definitely a weird moment, but it was cool to say that I did it, I guess,
Yeah.
Hollowed stage in a way, if you will.
You guys open for ICP?
Bro, we opened for ICP. We opened for Violent J on his private tour. Shaggy on his private tour. We've opened for ICP at least 3 times.
No shit.
Twisted a couple times. We opened for Quiet Riot. Fucking all kinds of people, dude. You'd be like, holy fuck, I didn't know that.
And I say this a lot about you, but yeah.
Nappy Roots. Guys
all the time is, what is your life?
Like, every time we talk.
Yeah.
Well, I really I enjoyed meeting Violent J at NWA. He was very nice.
Oh shit! No shit.
Yeah.
People give them all a lot of shit, man, but they're just regular dudes that got insanely famous really fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't have a cult following, so I'd expect them to have a rough day or two here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy to judge, but I mean, getting fame thrown in your lap can't be an easy thing, man.
They definitely maintained it on their own over the years. You know what I mean? We played with them anytime we brought stuff to sell. Juggalos bought our stuff. Juggalos were very supportive of my band and are still supportive of my band. When I go play our next show, there's going to be Juggalos out there whooping. So, whoop whoop.
Yeah, in my experience, they've been nice people.
You'd be great at the gathering, man. They do some wrestling at the gathering. You'd be a fan favorite for sure. Those fuckers love cheese.
I'd love to go. I reached out to them about it, but nobody ever got back to me. I guess they must have had a full heart or something.
Violent J, you need to book the cheese on your JCW show, and then you need to book my band Toy Box on the main stage at the Gathering of the Juggalos. We've already played with you like 4 times. What are you doing, bro? Somebody
Come on, man.
Send this shit.
Help a dad out.
Help a dad out.
I hope that happens.
That would be some shit. You'd be like, damn, that was the best random podcast I ever popped on ever. Now I'm wrestling at the Gathering.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of which, man, I know we weren't able to make it happen for Squared Circle, but next year Squared Circle is the 25th and the 26th, man. We still got an open invite for you. You want to come be our guest. I know I wasn't able to make it happen last year, but maybe we can make it
6 of
April. So the weekend after WrestleMania next year.
I think that'd be good. I mean, I gotta.
Yeah, of course, check your real stuff and all that. Yeah, you ain't gotta commit on the show or nothing, but we definitely would love to have you, man. You know, it was a fun ass time last year, and we would like. We haven't officially made anything happen, but we're going to try to sponsor our own match there next year. So,
And I mean, honestly, we just like to expose some of the people up here to, to you. I think that, people up here would love you, and the people that haven't learned about you should, and the people that do know you would love to meet you in person. I know we'd be excited to be cool to finally meet you in person. It's always been over the internet.
Yeah, I get. I mean, I want to meet you guys too. I want to hang out. I want us to. Yeah, that sounds.
Her dad Unity rings on and combine them.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, boys, we about hit our hour here, man. You guys got anything else you want to cover before we start wrapping this feller up here?
No, not that I can think of.
I can tell you one thing. If you're anywhere local to us, go get yourself fucking tickets to Wrestling Revolver in Dayton, because the amount of people they've added to this show is insane. They just added our boy Riddle to the show. Wow. And I'm super excited to see him at Revolver, which is going to be super fun for us. But get them tickets, because they're going to, I mean, at this point, Revolver is just stacking the deck every time. So, if you miss out on these moments, it's your fault, And if you're in Florida, buy tickets to go see the Cheese. And if you miss out on that, that's your fault.
Yeah.
You should see it.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of come see the Cheese, if you're coming to River City Wrestling Con in St. Augustine, Florida, I will be there both days, and that's going to be fun. Sting's going to be there. I'm super excited. I hope I get it. There's me. That's going to be at the World Golf Village. I'm so pumped up about this one. Like, this is a literal dream come true for me to be able to work at this convention. But yeah, and then after that, next weekend, I'm actually working on a show, the Wentworth Brothers Wrestling in Orlando, and it's they have Butterbean on the show.
Oh, hell yeah.
And there's a lot of stars like that everybody would recognize from almost every demographic. He's doing it the right way. Randy Wentworth is. It's going to be a lot of fun. But the day before that is Pride of Wrestling. It's the Pride anniversary. It's the yearly anniversary show. And my tag team with my brother Bud Heavy, Beer Cheese.
Yes.
Challenging in a 6-man tag. Not a 6-man tag match, but it's like 3 different teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But tables, ladders, chairs, and cheese.
Yes.
TLC square.
I hope to see some nacho cheese.
There's going to be lots of cheese. I'm
extremely messy.
I'm going to get in trouble so bad.
He's got spicy nacho.
I can't wait to hear about that.
The promoter comes out like, "Hey, dude, stop!
That's jalapeno cheese. What are you doing?
I have to replace this with fucking material."
Do the mist, but it's just nacho cheese.
I've done that before, and it's so bad.
I bet.
So bad.
Just globs of cheese raining down on people.
I love it. People seem to like they're like, and then they're like, oh,
that was cool. Yeah.
I can just see you. We're talking about you being bad guy cheese. I could just see you in the middle of the ring now with the baby face held down and you pouring cheese over him, doing a Chinese water torture with cheese.
I know he's lactose intolerant.
God.
Go into anaphylactic shock or something.
Oh my.
That'd be great.
Cheese, thank you, my friend, for coming on and helping us when we had a cancellation. That was you are the man. We appreciate you.
How serendipitous on National Cheese Day too.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
My
I'll tell
day.
you what, we should
Cheese is the
plan.
best.
We should plan to have you back for next year on National Cheese Day if it lines up right. We'll figure it out.
Do it. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, another wonderful episode here on the Dad World Order podcast. And as always, I'm Big Rig Eric Maffey. He is Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. He is Wrestling T-shirt Guy Cephas, and he is the Gouda Godfather, the Parmesan Pummeler, the Cheddar Weight Champion, the Cheese. As always, you can check us out on all the socials at DW_podcast, Facebook at the DWO podcast, TikTok at DWO_pod. Get that dad merch at Pro Wrestling Tees and T Public. And as you can see, our new wonderful overlay right here. Subscribe, listen, follow, get that merch, please. You share all the stuff. It would mean so much to us. So thank you all for tuning in. And until next time, top dads.